Hey, what's up, coach? Welcome back to the podcast. Today is episode 250. Man, I remember when we got to episode 200, I felt like that was a pretty big deal for me because it's showing how consistent this podcast has been. And really at this point, my goal is to get to episode 500, and I want to get to episode 500 untouched. Like, I want to go that many episodes in a row. Essentially, we started episode 143 where we've been going daily. But I want to get to 500. That's my next milestone. And first, I just want to say thank you. If you've left us any sort of reviews or feedback here, I really appreciate it. You know what my mission is here. I want to help more kids worldwide. And the way I can help more kids is by helping you and other coaches grow their business so that they can help more kids. This way you can have a greater impact on your community. Personally, you will generate more income and you will create more freedom in your personal life. That's the whole purpose of my podcast. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm consistent. And I really want you to implement what I tell you today, because this will help you. And this might not work for you if you live in a different country. And it might, and there might be a different alternative to what I'm about to share here. But if you live in the US, I'm pretty certain you can do this, and just take action. All right. So here's the title of today's episode, which is the free app I use that will save you hundreds of hours per year. All right. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. With the clients that I train, right, and all of the phone calls I ever take, everything that I ever do, it's all scheduled, right? Everything I do is scheduled. So this means that no one has the ability to call my cell phone, right? Like, no one has the ability to call my cell phone unless they are a family member or obviously a friend that's outside of business. I use my cell phone for personal reasons only. I do not use that to communicate with clients. So what do I use? Well, I use the best free app. It's called Google Voice. I've talked about this before on the podcast, but if you are a coach that feels constantly like connected to your phone, and you feel like you're about to sit down and eat dinner and your phone's blowing up and you have to take it, well, that's telling me that you're not being responsible with your time. And I know this because that's what I used to do. And I'll never forget this. This was when I was engaged before I got married. But I went on a trip with my wife. We weren't married yet, but we went on a trip together to San Diego. And I remember we were sitting down having breakfast and my cell phone was blowing up. Like, I had a couple of clients who are calling me that had questions, and they were conditioned to know that if they called me, I would pick up, because I would tell parents, like, hey, if you ever need to chat with me, just call me. And in one sense, it sounds like it's a good service. Like, it sounds like it's a good thing to give your clients that kind of access. But on the other side, it's actually terrible for you, because you don't get to have a life, because then you're constantly tied to your phone. And that is no bueno. Trust me, that is no bueno for you. And if you go to episode 244, I talk about being strict with how you run your business. All right. And I used to be very loose with how I used to run my business. And what I did though, was I realized, you know what? Like, my fiance at the time was super mad because we were eating breakfast and, like, here I am working on vacation. That just sounds so dumb. Like, we're eating breakfast, I'm working while we're on vacation, while I'm trying to spend time with her. And I remember after that, I was like, wow, like, this can't happen again. Like, this is ruining our moment of trying to spend time together. And that wasn't the first time that happened. That happened multiple times. That happened for years. And I realized, I was like, you know what? I need to sack up here and I need to change how I operate. So what I did was I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to do some research. I'm going to see if I can find an alternative phone number. And right when I did that, the first thing that popped up was Google Voice, and it said like free phone number. And I was like, wow, awesome. So I looked at it, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to set up a number on here. And that's the number that I use for everything business related. If you've watched any of our YouTube videos, you always hear me say out my number. Well, that number goes to Google Voice, right? And the number I communicate with all my clients is on Google Voice. This means that no one has the ability to just hit me up whenever they want. Everything that I do is scheduled. So if I'll give you a good example. Let's say a parent wants to chat, right? I have them schedule a phone call, and then I will call them on Google Voice, and I can do all that on my computer, and so can you, right? So if you live in America, go check that out. If you don't live in America, if you live in Canada or in the UK or Australia or South America, it really doesn't matter. We have coaches from all over the world that listen to this podcast. But what I would want you to do is start disconnecting yourself from your phone and start using an alternative number for your business. I promise you, when you do this, this will give you more freedom in your personal life. And this way, like when you shut down for the day, you're not having to answer your phone. And again, I know a lot of coaches are going to be like, well, that's not good for your clients. Actually, it is, because it educates your clients to respect your time way more than they do right now. And if they don't respect your time right now, guess what? They don't respect your time, and they're just going to run all over you. Whenever they have a little question that could be addressed on a scheduled phone call 2 days later on your time, like they're just going to hit you up, right? You don't want people to hit you up. That ruins the workflow of your day. So I hope this helps you out. So go look at Google Voice. It's a free app. You can either use it on your phone or your computer. I don't use it on my phone, but this will save you hundreds of hours per year. Now, before I go, I have this bundle for the Perfect Client Blueprint and the Startup Sports Business Academy. If you want the bundle, hurry up and shoot me a message on Instagram, shoot me a DM telling me that you want it, and I'll send you a registration link on how you can get both of those together at a big discount. And that bundle ends on October 31st, all right? So when we get to episode 255, that's the last time I'm going to be giving away this bundle. So if you put this off, you're not going to get it. If you take action, I can set this up for you today. So that's it. I'll catch you later.